Hey Rachel, how you doing? Okay, so I noticed that there was no written rationale accompanying your submission. So we'll just jump right over to the composition, which I have open right here. So the first thing I want to do is get this in the window. And then once we have, yeah, I just want to get this. So there we go. That's beautiful, right? That's perfect. So the next thing I want to do is go through the requirements of the assignment. So in order to do that, we'll just jump right over here to the week 4 assignment for part 1, first iteration. So where we have the instructions here. So let's go ahead and go through the. So your selected object must be the dominant image, and we can see that yours is not. The pencil is your object, right? The mechanical pencil, but that's not the dominant image in this this composition. As a matter of fact, it's not. It's back in the order of hierarchy a little bit. So I would reconsider this. Maybe even just increase this huge and maybe have it coming down like this, or having not the whole pencil but a portion of the crop pencil coming in somehow into the composition. But you want to make it really big to add that visual interest. Right now I don't think it's there right here. I'm just not feeling this kind of framing the headline with the pencils. I think that you want to use the pencil as a dominant image in the composition. Let me show you an example. I think this one, it's really easy to see that the dominant image here is the coffee machine. So that's good, successful use of domination and creating a focal point based on the element, the item that you're featuring in your composition, and that's the pencil. Okay, next thing, let's go back to the requirements. Your poster must include an image of the object in use. We don't see that. We don't see an image of the object in use. So you want to show someone using the mechanical pencil in one capacity or another, but that is required. Next, the image must show, the poster must include one image that results from the use of your object, and it does. This is a drawing right here resulting in, that could be depicted as a result of using the mechanical pencil. So that's covered. Your poster must include 2 components of the selected object. So we don't have 2 components here. We've just got, you're showing the sliding system. I guess this could be considered components. You're showing the different weights of the lead there. So yeah, that could definitely be considered to be a component. So you've got your 2 components. That's good. Let's go back and your components. Don't forget your captions. You have to use captions. So you definitely want to do that. Here's the captions. Where is it? Here, caption text here. It's right here. But let's go back down in order. The poster must include 1 paragraph of text that describes this object and what the artifact means to you. And we've got that right here. So you want to describe why this is such an important item to you, not for folks in general, right? So if you take a look at this, it says your poster must include 1 paragraph of text that describes what this object or artifact means to you and why you picked it. So this is more personal. It's more of a personal project than just exposing the attributes of the mechanical pencil. You want to describe what it means to you, why it's important to you, and how you use it. Okay, and then finally we have the phrase design in everyday life. So you have designs in everyday life. So you want to lose that S to have it read design in everyday life. And then your captions. You want to include your captions. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over here. Now, what do we have here? I think that there's a couple of things that we want to address. And number one is typography. First, we've got a couple of issues with typography. And I think I already mentioned the dominant image, right? So that's going to require that you recompose your layout. I think that much is obvious, right? So what we have here is you've got one. Let me see, boy, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fonts being used in this piece, and that's about 3 too many. From our course lectures, it recommends that we use no more than 2 fonts. 2 is good. Sometimes you can get away with 3. Now, don't forget, you can use different styles of the same font, and that would count as 1 font. But right now, I think you're using too many different fonts here. Specifically, the headline area. This script typeface is too close to this script. They're fighting badly with each other because they're both script, but they're not similar. So the viewer is getting this uncomfortable visual tension based on the fact that these are close but not identical. Almost seems like a mistake using two very close typefaces. So I would recommend this. I think this is a really good choice for your subheads, and the reason being is because it's almost hand rendered, so it draws a nice connection to the actual mechanical pencil. This I would use with just a sans serif here, and I wouldn't frame it with the pencils either. So at that point, we take a look at the actual typeset, and we have some inconsistencies here because this one, the typeset, the head is set in the script, but here they're not. So I recommend using this script for your subheads here and here. Again, we've got this typeset here that looks pretty good. I think your leading and kerning is done very well here. I think this is pretty inviting. And it's a good introductory. I think it follows good hierarchy in that this is kind of an introduction. That's the main text, so it's a little larger than the subtext, so that's smart. So what I would recommend that you left align the subhead to the body copy, and then do the same thing here. You've got your mixing center aligned headline, left aligned body copy, center aligned body copy. So there are some inconsistencies there. My recommendation is to set this left align with the body copy, left align body copy, left align this body copy, and set the subhead left aligned with the left margin. Same thing here. Okay, so those are my recommendations, and I think that to a high degree, I think it's really important that you take a good, close look at the actual the element, the mechanical pencil, and try to pick out attributes from the pencil that you can use to assist you in developing your layout. Let me show you what I mean. I love using this example because it's so effective. But basically what we have right here is we've got the coffee machine. It's the dominant image, right? And then we've got good use of negative space throughout the entire composition. You've got this wonderful typographic composition for the title area. That's done really well. Very interesting, wonderful negative space around it. It's not generic at all. It's very well composed. And we can see that there's attributes in the entire composition that are borrowed from the image itself. The circle comes from this circle here. The color from this circle right here comes from the darker color of the object. Every day comes from the coffee beans. The circle here, again, is repeated. We got this circle from the logo, but in this logo here, we see these three circles right here. Here they are, right here, here, and here. Okay, so then we have this drip. There's these dots, these horizontal and vertical dots. The vertical dots are awesome because they kind of mimic the way the coffee would be dripping into the cup, right? So there's a really good example of borrowing attributes. Also, take a look at the width of everyday and the width of design. They're close to identical, and they're also the exact same width of the coffee machine from here to here. That's by design, not by chance. Okay, so definitely want to take a look and reevaluate based on my comments and recommendations. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. But I would like to see you employ those recommendations as we move into our final iteration of design in everyday life. Okay, thank you very much. Most important thing right now is to get with me quickly if you have any questions or if I can provide any clarification. Thank you very much.